Welcome, everybody, to Cup with Gup on this Tuesday, September 28th, 2021. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to go through my updated power rankings for the NFL, some waiver wire ads that I would like to target and see, tell you guys the ones that I'm looking to target tonight or tomorrow whenever your waiver wire runs. Run through my top 3 or 4 to watch on Prediction Strike. And then give a little deep dive PGA Sanderson Farms update, and then we'll get out of here. As always, join us. If you're not a current premium member, use the code CUP, get 15% off, includes a 7-day free trial. I have the NFL Listener League in this podcast. If you would like to join, let's get that filled up. We were short last week. If we're short again this week, I'll probably have to move on to something else on there. Wait for golf to come back. Can't keep letting DK down there. I know there was a lot going on last week, so I told him we'd fill it back up. So go ahead and hop in there when you get a chance. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. In the comments, tell me your current team you think would win the Super Bowl. Everything we've learned through 3 weeks. Tell me your favorite team to win the Super Bowl right now. Anytime I do giveaways, I will be looking at our subscribers on YouTube, who has rated and reviewed us on iTunes. And anytime you guys leave comments, it gets you in the drawings that I do almost weekly. As I just mentioned, if you can rate and review us on iTunes, it goes a long way. We poll winners from there during the big weeks, the majors, the big football week, stuff like that. It goes a long way to help us out. Really do appreciate it. Monkey Knife Fight right now. Use the code GUPS, G-U-P-S, get 100% match up to $100. I will have my PGA plays on tomorrow's Cup with Gup. We'll have Thursday night football plays on Thursday's pod. I'll have weekend plays for college and NFL on Coin Flip. I'm sure Bobby has some opinions on some college football player props on Monkey Knife Fight that they have now. Really a good niche there that we can take advantage of using Bobby's information, and then some of the stuff I take a look at as well. So use the code GUPS, get a free $100 or up to $100 when you deposit up to $100. Links to that is in the description as well. Underdog just released the mid-season resurrection best balls for NFL. It is going to run week 6 through 17. I think it's $10 to enter. 100K in prizes, 20K to first. So use the code GUP, G-U-P, and get a free $10 when you deposit $10. So if your best balls are out to a bad start, or you missed it originally, or you've heard about Underdog, but you didn't get into it, now's a chance to get back in there. Deposit $10 or more, you get a free $10 and go jump into the mid-season resurrection. I may jump in there as well a little bit later on. It's going to run week 6 through week 17. The link to them is in the podcast as well. Power rankings for week 4 for me. Number 1 is the Rams. I think, as it sits today, that's pretty clear. 2 is Tampa Bay. I'm not going to overreact to a road loss. I predicted the Rams would win, so it wasn't too much of a shocker to me. Probably the way they did in a sense, but again, not overreacting too much. Chiefs, I'm going to keep it 3. I know some may move them down further. They're 1 and 2, but the way they've lost, and although I mentioned yesterday the way they beat the Browns, one could say, we could go anywhere with them. You could say they could be anything from 0 and 3 to 3 and 0 right now. So, but push come to shove, especially in the betting world, which power rankings drive some of the lines for me and looking for advantage and stuff. Most people aren't going to, move them much down in a betting world, just because of high power offense and Mahomes and all that. They are struggling, but they had some turnovers. Even though they lost last week, they had 4 turnovers, so and barely lost. So I'm not moving them down too much. I have Arizona in the value rankings the same, but I have Arizona 4, Cleveland 5. Buffalo is 6 for me. All 3 of those are really close. Could probably swap them around. Then the next 4 I have tied in the value rankings. If you want to look at my full power rankings, all 32 teams, the home field advantage factors, week 4 lines, and all that kind of stuff, I put them up on the site. The next 4 are all tied in value. I have Dallas 7, Green Bay 8, Tennessee 9, Las Vegas 10. Bubble teams this week: Seattle, San Francisco, Chargers, and Ravens. Really, those last 8 I just mentioned. Someone could argue with me from my number 7 through 14. I wouldn't claim any other way. They're all very tight. Still a lot of unknowns. Some have had good wins. Some have had, questionable losses. Teams like Denver, I think the teams they have played, I have them 17th right now. They're 3-0, but I think the teams they've played are 0-9 when I looked this morning. So still early in the season. You got to massage these a little bit, but that's where I'm at as we head into this week. Had a great week last week in NFL betting. Looking to continue that this week. Waiver wire ads for me. Chuba's going to be the number 1 ad. It looks like probably a minimum 2 weeks that C-Mac's out. And Chuba's good in college. I don't know. This is a tough one because you kind of depends on where you're at in your season. Like if you're desperate or really need somebody, you may want to use it because you need to try to get wins, or you had Christian McCaffrey and didn't have a good backup. I could see spending a lot of money. If not, I may pass on him because, unless you just think McCaffrey's going to be now injury prone, right? So 2 years in a row now, he gets injured. That's not a bad option as well. But if he let's say only misses 2 games, how much do you want to pay for a backup for 2 games that may not see much of the field after that? It's kind of depend on your personal situation. He is going to be a hot pickup. If you don't have to pay, if you don't have a FAAB budget or anything like that, then yeah, you put your waiver wire claim in and hope you're high up on the list and you get him. Tim Patrick, I've talked about before. I think he now is even more important with KJ Hamler going down again, which sucks. I really like Hamler. I'm high on. I was high on him. He is injury prone, can't seem to stay healthy. But Patrick's probably going to go up pretty high. Terrence Marshall's another guy I've talked about before. I think he's even seeing more time on the field. Could wind up overtaking Robbie Anderson as the number 2 in targets and stuff as the season goes along. I was high on him preseason. Hopefully you already have him on your team or had your eye on him. So he's one I like. The New England situation, if you were having a flyer, I wouldn't spend any money per se, but I still think Ramondre Stevenson has a chance to get some touches now, especially with White out. Most will go off for J.J. Taylor. I don't hate Ramondre. I don't hate either one of them, but I don't really ever like a New England running back. We've seen how hard that is to predict. Probably just a mention for me that if you think he could get in there and be valuable, I wouldn't spend much money, if any at all, but you may be able to add him on the cheap. Manny Sanders, he was right on the fringe, but he was more available than I thought he would be in some leagues. He's certainly viable to be picked up. It looks like Allen's having a good connection with him. Jacoby Myers, I think, long term is going to have 14 targets last week from Mac Jones. As Jones continues to improve throughout the year, he probably will continue to be good. Rashad Bateman is a guy that I've kind of stored away in some of my stuff. He looks to be back practicing this week. Most people may have forgot him. He was a stud in college. It will only help improve that passing attack. Hollywood's good. But him and Watkins are similar in the sense the way, run some drags with him, quick stuff. Bateman can take the top off of defense, I think, a little bit. He's just one you may want to keep your eye on and try to jump ahead a little bit. I know picking a wide receiver in that offense isn't, ideal because you're like, well, how many times are they going to throw it? But maybe they do try to get thrown a little bit more, especially with being light and running back. You don't want Lamar running all the time. So he's just the last one I kind of toss out there, keep your eye on. Streaming quarterback options for me this week, I like Darnold going up against Dallas. Dallas D looked better last night, but I do think Darnold could have some success. Heineke, I don't hate. They're playing the Falcons, so that the Falcons can give up some passing, and he brings some rushing upside. So if you're a streamer and you need a quarterback, he's there. And then a guy that a lot of people may have dropped real quick, but playing the Giants this week will be Jameis Winston. I know we still don't have as much of the weapons we would like, but those 3 are the 3 I would choose from if you're needing to stream one for 1 week for me. Prediction Strike. Hopefully you guys all know what that's about now. Stock market fantasy sports. Right now they have NBA and NFL. UFC soccer, PGA will be coming down the road. You can use the code GUP and get a free player share with any deposit of $20 or more. If you don't like the player that you get randomly tossed into your portfolio, you can sell it instantly and then go buy the one you want. So it's pretty much free money. A lot of the people in Gup's Corner, GC Warrior Room, are getting into it, DMing me, asking me questions. I enjoy it. I've got plenty of shares going right now. 4 players that I like on the cheap right now, either to put on your watch list or maybe buy a few shares. One I just mentioned, Jacoby Myers, he's 75 cents right now. Again, it's a long-term deal. This isn't like jock market or anything where you just sell after 1 week or one game. You can buy and sell anytime, and you can hold for it. You can hold for 2 years if you want. I mean, there's no, you got to, we're going to settle up here. You basically buy and sell just like a real stock market. I think he could not skyrocket, but he could have a great incline throughout the season as Jones gets more comfortable as a professional quarterback. Brian Edwards, I like Ruggs. I've talked about him. He's a stud in college at South Carolina, $1.12. Carr's looking great. If he continues on that path, Edwards gets more involved. I definitely like him. Antonio Gibson, probably taking a little bit of a hit, but we saw what he can do if they get him involved in the passing game last week. $2.39 seems really cheap for his potential. I know the the Washington football team are kind of, not looking as great as maybe we would have thought, mainly because of the defense. Obviously you banked on Fitzpatrick being in there. So I'm not putting a lot out on that. I still think they could have a decent season. And he, I think that's a pretty good buy at $2.39. He's a great talent. Maybe they continue to get him more and more involved, and that can only skyrocket him as he outdoes his projections. And then OBJ, I talked about him last week on fantasy quite a bit. I think he's I've talked to him in the preseason. I thought he'd have a breakout year on that list of comeback player year type deal. Although you got Barkley out there, McCaffrey, which McCaffrey got hurt again. So it's a tough year. Dak will probably win it if he just stays on pace. But $2.14 for OBJ. He could have a really good year as he gets going in that offense. So those are 4 guys I like on Prediction Strike. The link is in the app or in the audio podcast as well. If you want to go check that out, use the code GUP. Get a free player share. If you don't like the player you get, no problem. You can sell it easy. We've had a lot of success already in the first few weeks on that. PGA Sanderson Farms Championship this week. My kind of deep dive update. I put the smash out early this morning. Spent most of the morning doing all the deep dive type stuff. Weather course really kind of looking the same. Pretty good chance of scattered showers all the way through Thursday night. Could either play in some wetness Thursday, some delays potentially. Doesn't look too crazy. It's going to be spotty pop-up type scattered showers. After that, it looks fine. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday look good. So if they get a little delay, they'll have plenty of time to make it up. Even Friday, I don't think they'll have any concerns there. The winds actually look kind of down for the week, so not really a big wave draw or anything like that so far. We'll see how we look 24 hours from now when we're talking about the final thoughts. Top 5 kind of trending names, ownership type people, just, diving into some of the other industry pods, reading, articles and all that kind of stuff this morning. No particular order. Hoffman, Mito, Connors, Wise, and Strillman. I don't think any of those are going to be a shocker to anybody, but those are ones you may want to keep an eye out. Potential sleepers, low owned. So guys that maybe not popping anywhere per se, but as I've done deep dive, they've kind of moved up a little bit. In play for me, definitely these are all MME type. Potentially could flirt with the 1-3 max. We'll see how tomorrow shakes out. Burgoon is one. I like him, $7,300. Obviously an original Team Cup guy from back 3-4 years ago now. Didn't think he would pop. He originally wasn't popping too much, but as we moved up to the final, he has done okay here. He's a fringe MME type play. He finished 16th last week, so I kind of like that. He's not shaking off any rust. Don't see too much ownership there. Steven Yeager is a guy that short-term looks really well. He's $7K. I don't think at that price many will go there. Mixed results here. 2 missed cuts, a 14th and a 51st. He's definitely stat-wise here of recent has looked solid. Nick Hardy at $6,900 is a guy that's kind of climbed in some deep dive. good price, right around a lot of other guys. He was 36 last week, 13th in the stats before we did the deep dive. So he moved up the ranks, in the deep dive information. And then Doc, Doc's because of the price, obviously, I have some homerism to him, but has played well here at 28th and a 52nd, and at $6,500, you're really looking for make the cut and then have good upside, top 20 upside. He's not coming in with good form. We know he's been working on his game, for the last few months. It would be MME play only for me. Certainly not getting in any kind of core, but with the history here, and when he does get going, I mean, he normally winds up playing well for the week and finishing up in the high up there. So it's a boomer bust type situation for him, but at his price, I think he's okay to keep on the list. The Monday redo section this week, I started this mid-season, had a lot of people, positive feedback there. I think Burns is one for me because the more I dive in, the more I'm willing to take risk this week on lower priced guys without as much information and guys that won't get high owned because there's some uncomfortability about, he's good here. He was good college, good Corn Ferry. I don't really know if I want to take the chance yet. And I always like being ahead of that. And if we're going to have a lot of these high price guys go under the radar, or not really under the radar, but everybody says, I'm going to be more balanced this week, or maybe hybrid balance. I go Connors, Mito, and then go down from there. Burns may come into ownership at a decent enough discount that I don't mind playing him at least level to the field because of some of the guys I'm going to have in my player pool who I know will be cheaper. I mean, he's coming in, he's probably the best putter up there in that high price. He had a 21st and 8th and an 18th. He's played here 4 straight years. I don't hate him. I'm not marking him off by any means. I didn't talk him up a lot yesterday, so he's one that I wanted to bring up. And then Munoz, he was top 10, yesterday, and he's still going to be right there for me. A good history here, a 35th, a 50th, a 1st, and a 23rd. Okay, coming in. BMW didn't play great, but didn't make it quite to the tour. 21st at Northern Trust. Missed the cut last week. Sometimes he has a little bit of boomer bust to him, but he seems like this course certainly made 4 straight cuts with the win. So 9,300, there's some guys there that I think others would go to I did talk about yesterday. I still don't mind them. Cam Davis, HV3. He kind of might go under the radar a little bit. Trent Golly's right there, who's been popular as of late. Hoffman for sure is going to be one of the highest owned this week. So I don't mind a Munoz putting it on the radar at $9,300. Guys I'm staying strong with, even after the deep dive and looking into. I'm still like Pendrith. I'm hoping he kind of stays at that 10% or less. I like Davis Riley, not getting off of that. I like Alex Smalley. I'm gonna ride those guys. They're cheap. I like their upside. Same with David Thompson, $6,100. And then Willie Z, I'm not gonna get off him. I think I'm gonna play him for sure. What I'll have to decide that 9 and 10K range is where I go. Do I want to get Sung Jae and Connors? Do I just go Sung Jae and Willie Z? And maybe 2 9K guys, depends on how many lineups you're doing, all that kind of stuff. Mito, do you just fade him this week? I think he'll be up there. Hoffman will for sure be up there. So there's some picking and plucking there. But like I talked about this morning on the Smash, actually, I'm okay playing some of those chalkier up guys that I know what I think I can get out of them because I'm going to go, pivot around and spread around some of my love down low and take some chances on guys that, at this point in time in the season, the talent level, between some of these guys and a mid 7, high 7, low 8, isn't tremendously different. And so I'll take those chances, and especially in an event like this. We'll see where we're at tomorrow. Final thoughts. I'll wrap it all up for you guys on the Cup with Gup. Like every Wednesday throughout the fall, now that we're back to our normal schedule. Thursday golf, coin flip will be out Thursday. Cup with Gup Thursday. We'll look at Thursday night football. I'll give my monkey knife fight picks for that as well. My showdown thoughts. We'll take a live look at the PGA leaderboard, see how the ownership shook out. Look at what's coming up in the next few weeks on PGA. Then Cup with Gup Friday, Ryan will be back with me. We'll go through the main slate, game by game, hit on some high notes, get a little bit different views. Had solid response to that last week, so I think we kept it well under 45 minutes. So we're not dragging it on there, but my coin flip is hitting the high, just kind of like smash factor. So this kind of gives, another perspective, and then us to be able to talk through some things, being a little bit later in the week. So a lot of good feedback there. Looking forward to it. We got a lot coming for you. College football, Bobby will have all those slates covered. NASCAR, UFC, a lot coming up in the next few months. It's a great time to join us. Try it out for a week. If you don't like it, you can cancel. No big deal. Cup gets you 15% off any package. We've added a ton to the optimizer, our green machine. We've added a massive amount of the NFL tools have been updated in the last, 4 to 5 days on top of the other stuff we already put out there. Really convenient there. I'm going to do a video kind of overviewing all that kind of stuff. So if you're not a member and you want to just free preview of our site, our optimizer, our golf tools, our NFL tools, all that stuff, I'll be trying to get that out here shortly, so you can take a look at that. I appreciate all you guys. I will be back tomorrow. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and see you later.